The invisible deck, one of the most popular card tricks ever created. If you've ever performed or seen this effect, then you would know just how powerful it can be. However, you might also know that there are many limitations to the effect in general, and the main one being that the spectator can never truly handle, examine, or shuffle the deck of cards. But this is a solution to that problem. This version of the effect begins by taking the cards out of the box and handing them over to the spectator to be shuffled. The spectator can take the cards now and give them as many shuffles as they wish. They can give them a riffle shuffle too. They can also cut the cards. Once the cards are shuffled and cut, now comes the moment in the trick that the spectators normally never get to see. And that is the moment when the magician actually makes the prediction. I will take one card out of the deck. I think this one will be just fine. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to reverse it in the deck so that it is now the only card facing the opposite direction. Once we've chosen this card, we will now take the deck and place it back in the box. And now we can have the spectator truly choose any card in the pack. They can think of one in step-by-step process, or they can also just think of one right off the bat. However, I would urge you to not think of an obvious card like the Ace of Spades or the Queen of Hearts, because those are very commonly chosen cards. So try to think of one that I would truly never be able to predict. Let's say the spectator thinks about it for a moment, and they settle on the 3 of clubs. Completely random choice. Now let's go ahead and recap what just happened. Right here, this deck of cards was completely shuffled by you in the beginning, remember? And then we took one card and we left it face down in the pack. I believe it got stuck somewhere. Where is that card? Oh, here it is. This card right here was the one card that we left face down since the very beginning, before you even named a card. And remember, there's genuinely no way I could know what card you were going to name ahead of time, and you just thought of a random card off the top of your head. But remind me, what was it again? 3 of spades. No, 3 of clubs. 3 of clubs right here. And that is the impromptu invisible deck.
Its own logic.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you a version of the invisible deck that you can do with almost any deck of cards. And I say almost because there is one tiny little thing that you will need before you start this trick. But if you don't have it, you can easily create one yourself. But the only tool that you will need to create this version of the invisible deck is any deck of cards that comes with a double back card. This is essentially the method for the trick and how it works. And if you don't have one of these cards, don't scroll away immediately, because you can easily create one of these cards yourself by taking 2 jokers or 2 cards that you don't necessarily care about from another deck of cards and taping them together or gluing them together, and that can be your makeshift double back card. But don't use cards from your existing deck, because you will need to have 52 cards present in the deck in order for the true invisible deck trick to work. But besides this card, this truly is an impromptu effect, meaning that you can have the deck be completely shuffled beforehand. All you need is this card on top of the deck and placed inside of the box, and now you can begin the invisible deck trick. Now, obviously, the start of the presentation should not be you describing the invisible deck to the spectators. That's just me talking to you guys in the YouTube video. But of course, the real effect should just start like any normal card trick, where you can take the cards out of the box and you can casually spread through the cards. Just be sure not to go all the way up. And you're gonna hand these off to the spectator and they can completely shuffle the deck. And it truly doesn't matter that this double back card is getting shuffled into the middle. As long as the spectator is shuffling the cards face down, they can give the cards a riffle shuffle, they can cut the cards. It truly does not matter where that card goes. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the cards back and you're going to say that you're going to make a prediction in the middle of the deck. First, you're going to spread through the cards and you're actually going to find the ace of spades, and you're going to cut the ace of spades to the face of the deck. And I will get into the reason for why you do this a little bit later on. But now that the ace of spades is face up on the deck, now you're going to spread through and just find your double back card and you're going to out jog it. But remember, all of this is not shown to the spectator. You're doing this from behind. So the spectators will only see the backs of the cards. And it looks like you're just taking a random card out of the middle, out jogging it. You're going to remove the card and then you're going to turn the entire deck face up and keep this card stationary, but place it back in the deck so that now it is facing the opposite direction. And now you can casually spread through the cards again, just showing that all the cards are facing up except for this card. And now you can take the deck and place it back into the box. And now the spectator can truly choose any card. But I like to throw this line in there and I say, but don't make it an obvious choice like the ace of spades or the queen of hearts, because those are very commonly chosen cards. And the reason why you do this is because if they were to name the ace of spades, obviously that card is on the bottom of the deck and you're not going to be able to do the method required to get their card controlled to the top if their card is on the face of the deck. So I sort of eliminate them thinking of the ace of spades by saying that line, but now they can truly think of any card in the deck. And I will go through a couple examples here because there are essentially two possibilities that can happen. The first possibility is their thought of card will be above the double back card, and the other possibility is their thought of card will be below it. So I'll go through both instances right now. Let's say they think of the king of clubs. What you're going to do is openly take the cards out face up, and then you're going to spread through the cards to yourself, looking at all these faces, and you're going to remind the spectators that the deck was shuffled and that later on you took one card and reversed it in the pack. But you're going to be spreading through the cards to yourself because you're going to be finding their thought of card that they just named. You're going to cull it. So now it is underneath the spread, and the cover for this is to cull the card at the same time that you lower your hands down. So now you can openly show the spectator the face-up cards, and then you can continue spreading to the double back card and you're going to out jog it. So this is the scenario that would happen if their thought of card was above the double backer. So obviously their card was in the first half of the deck here, and then you're just going to cull it to the top right over here, strip out the double back card, and now you're going to perform a double lift to reveal that their card was the upside down card. And that is the end of the trick. But the other instance of the trick, let's say that king of clubs was in the upper half of the deck. And this is actually what happened in the performance that you guys just saw earlier, is that I was spreading through the cards to myself and I was doing the patter and I was saying, remember guys, you shuffled the deck and there was one single card that I turned over in the pack. You're still gonna do the trick the exact same way and you're still gonna show the spectator all the backs of the cards. And even though you might think, well, they're gonna notice that there's not a face-up card in the deck, a lot of people are honestly not going to pick up on that, especially if you throw in this line after the fact. When you cull their card, which is in the upper half of the deck, you're going to spread through and just say, I think it got stuck somewhere, let me just respread. And then you can respread it and then boom, they will see the card and be like, okay, there it is. Trust me, if you have a spectator spread through the cards themselves and try to find a specific card, 9 times out of 10, the cards will be so old and stuck together that they're going to have to give it a second try in order to find that specific card. So spectators really are not going to think this is suspicious in any way, especially since now you're going to very, very cleanly spread through these cards. Very cleanly. Just be sure not to show the top card, of course, but you're going to strip out the double back card, turn the deck over in one hand, and now you can get a break on this card, or however you like to do a double lift, and reveal their thought of card. The extreme instances in this trick are if the card they're thinking of is the second to last card, or if the card they're thinking of is like on the top or second from the top. These are very rare cases, but I will demonstrate exactly what to do. So let's say you're spreading through and you immediately see that their card is right here. You're just going to do the same thing, just cull it, and there you go. It's very simple. There's nothing really to it. You do the rest of the trick as normal. But let's say the card is on top of the deck or second from the top. So what you're going to do is spread through, ignore the double backer, just keep spreading until you find their card and you can see it's on top and just say, actually, sorry, I think I passed it here. And now you know that you actually don't have to do any sleight of hand because their card is already on top. So this is honestly the cleanest possible version because it really doesn't look like you've done anything suspicious. But anyways, the cleanup for this effect, if you want the deck to fully be examinable, you can now hand the card out for examination so the spectators can examine, and then you're simply going to palm off the double backer as you spread the cards on the table, and now you can just very casually drop and place this card inside of your pocket as you let the spectators look through everything. And that is how you can make this look like a completely impromptu effect. This is honestly exactly what it should look like. And I really love the addition of flipping over the prediction in front of the spectator, because then it gives them an image to think about and it sets up their expectations and builds up the anticipation in their mind to make the effect even stronger when it hits. But yeah, that is essentially the entire trick right there. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments, but I think this is pretty straightforward. So yeah, anyways, really hope you guys enjoyed this one and have fun performing it, and see you guys next time. Bye.